Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. We are here, chilling, feeling a little bit better, but still, a little under the weather. We're here. And some kind of a stomach bug, so missed the stream on Sunday. Thanks for your understanding of that. I'll, as a general practice, unless I plan to be away and have something scheduled to stand up in its place, I'll always try and post, or at least like go live for a minute, let people know whenever the stream won't be here, so that way you can feel the accountability part of it. I do try and stay consistent, and I think it's important for me to commit to the schedule that I design. I think it's pretty reasonable for me, so we will miss the odd session here or there if stuff comes up, but for the most part, we're gonna be here. What's up, Gat? Thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know. Little stomach thing. It'd be all right. The worst part was like a headache for like almost 4 days. I think it was something maybe more than a stomach bug, I guess. I know it's not COVID though. Thank goodness. Waiting for the vaccines to roll out. Anyways, we're gonna get into the session. So there's gonna be two parts to today. The first will be a very basic reserve introduction, some offline exploration. So this is still me going through the process of doing research, and I'm gonna go move around the map. I'll introduce you to the very basics of it, and I'll be working off of a Google Sheet. I'll reference that a little bit while I'm playing. I'll go and have a peek. So I'm gonna actually get that ready. Right, meow. Actually, I'll do it on the other, on my main computer. Anywho, the guide that will eventually come of this is comprised of the premier locations to a map, the things that a person should know in order to gain a holistic understanding. And the approach that I take is I collect the tasks that are on the map. The primary extracts, typically, reserve happens to have very few tasks, so I'm highly considering that I will include all of the extracts. And reserve is on the smaller side. It's a very dense map, so it's on the smaller side, smaller side of compared to other maps. And then outside of that, what makes a map, or the understanding of a map, complete is understanding the interests of players. And for the most part, with the other guides, I cover the majority of those things, and so in order to have the right amount of content, the right amount of understanding for reserve, it's a loot map. This is the map that people come to make money. Very few tasks are done here, and so people generally know this as probably one of the most profitable, if not the most profitable map that you can play, aside from maybe labs, but that one's hit or miss. So that's how the guide will be presented, in large part, focused on loot. And so there's a set of keys that I'll be introducing people to, and this is all information you can find out there, but I'm going to present it in the way that I did with other guides, and be a nicely laid out, easy to follow map. And so if you're interested in learning reserve, that'll be some good content. Otherwise, the second half of this streaming session is going to be on a fresh account, which I will show you we're on right here at the start. I hope you're doing well there, Gat. Nice to see you, dude. So, brand new account. So this is a second account that I've had for a bit, and I don't really take the opportunity to play on, but there was some interest in approaching the game with this sort of account, and I know that other popular streamers do this kind of thing too. Like Pastilli has an excellent raid series. Pastilli also has a very particular style, and so what I'm looking to represent is a style that I think that most players could enter into the game in, and show you how to generate success with that more methodical approach to the game, instead of Pastilli, I think, largely has a pretty go style. He's not like the hyper aggressive player, but he definitely plays fairly aggressive, and we'll see what kind of success we can generate here. So let's go with It'll be standard jet. And I think for this one, I'm trying to decide if I want to take USEC or Bear. Now, the primary consideration for the two different types is USEC gets M4s and, you know, certain things at the start, and Bear gets AKs. I don't think it really matters all too much. The AKs are a little bit nicer early game, but I do have a Bear on my other account, so I think I'm going to go with a USEC here. RBBK for the phase array. Yeah, that's something that I'm going to heavily look at too, Carlos, are the phase array locations. I'm going to make sure I check them all out. Wow, you are ugly, dude. I guess they're all going to be kind of ugly, aren't they? I like this guy. I don't know what Michael sounds like. Am I just missing the sounds? Michael, it is. I know I can't change this. Yeah, we're fine. The keys are definitely a big part of reserve. So there's two components to reserve that make the map. You know, you can still make buckets of money on the map, and I think that most people in the very beginning are going to do scab runs in order to make money on it. But you can certainly you know, play it on your PMC. And yeah, we got 20 minutes to kill here anyways, so let's go ahead into it. But you really, you know, are going to benefit strongly if you have keys, and you're going to benefit quite a bit if you have the red rebel, specifically on your PMC. And the reason for that is that the extracts on reserve are sometimes quite punishing, just like they can be on interchange. So I think that a lot of people avoid PMC runs on this map if they're planning to take a backpack out, because there is an alternative. There's a backpackless extract on the map too, and that can be, you know, utilized in order to, you know, get away from the rough extracts. So I think that my recommendation for most people, if they're going to get into playing reserve, would be to go in with the expectation that you are going to get bopped on your way out of the map, unless you have the red rebel. Like it'll just happen, you know, people will get you, or you play it as a scav, which tends to be a fair bit easier to extract. We'll go in and have a little peek here, see what's up. Reserve is an excellent map. It's definitely one of the, you know, like I said earlier, one of the heavier money maps, and there's just like an incredible amount of loot available, and maybe the most common map for people to hatchet run, potentially. I think so. People are always rushing the tech rooms. Like you'll see people with pistols and just a knife every single raid on reserve. Just the way it goes. There's a lot of talk about what to do about that, like how to navigate the game a little bit differently. Like how do we encourage people to still play whilst also, you know, not allowing somebody to instantly just take out a ton of high value loot through their secure container. Oh, now I know why there's no sound coming through. And so the big reason there is people can just put stuff in their secure container at the very start. And one suggestion that I have is that maybe found in raid loot should be on some sort of a timer. Just at the start of the raid, you know, first 10 minutes, maybe you can't put anything in your secure container that's found in raid specifically. Got the little check mark. So I'm going to start by going up to the dome. And one of the nicest things about reserve is that you can gain perspective of where you are almost anywhere. Even as a brand new player, like you can kind of look up, see what's going on around you. And what we're looking for is this dome off in the background. So that's how you orient yourself specifically in reserve. Most people do, at least to start with. Let's go for a little walk. So again, the main goal here is just you know, basic introduction. I'm gonna go start at the top. I'm gonna introduce the idea of reserve, and we're gonna go around and look at all of the different buildings, just like really basic. So, you know, if you're gonna start playing reserve, I recommend that you do something similar to this. It's it's best to have a, general rough understanding of something and then build on that slowly over time instead of trying to cram everything all at once. You look at a lot of these guides that are 30 and 40 minutes long as a brand new player, and, like where do you start? That might seem like an overwhelming amount of information, and I totally acknowledge that. But these offline sessions really provide people an opportunity to get familiarized with the environment, with the layout, and it's something that some people don't like taking advantage of, and some people stop taking advantage of it, even though they could go and spend time learning a new map. And to go and run around for 5-10 minutes with an objective to go run around for 5 or 10 minutes, you can gain a considerable amount of understanding in a short amount of time. It just requires some consistency, understanding that if you go and play 10 minutes of reserve today and then you wait a month, your brain's not going to remember that information. It doesn't consider it a priority. You didn't tell it was. So you gotta keep things consistent, and then make sure you're going off of your building your recall, right? That's how your memory works. Recall is one of the most potent parts of your memory. This is actually one of the primary extracts right here that people tend to use. So it's called Cliff Descent. And this is where you need Red Rebel, and then you would have to have an armored rig, not just regular armor. You can't wear regular armor going up in there. So this is the dome, and if you're even remotely familiar with Reserve, you've probably seen this area. Even if you've never played on Reserve, you've probably seen this area. A lot of people come up to here to snipe. And so if you're taking long shots, it's probably from here. Yeah, big old dome. And you can see this dome on other maps too. Like you can actually see Reserve from Woods. You can see, the maps all do connect, and they will connect in the future, which is pretty cool. So just big, aerial view. This is how most people would start, and this is how the future guide will start as well. You have a pretty good look at the map, and if it wasn't foggy, you'd be able to see every single location pretty much from here. There's some places where you get line of sight blocked, but this is really it. So that building in the back there is not one that we can go to. That one back there. Same thing with that. I don't know if maybe this place will get expanded at some point, but yeah, it's very, very dense. So you have a couple of identical or reasonably identical apartments. You have another building in the back. And we have two buildings right here, so one straight ahead, one down across, and we'll talk about what the names of these are. They actually are labeled. Like if we look down here, we can see a white pawn on that building. So that's one of the nice things about Reserve. Right down there, we can see that's, I believe that is, I don't want to get it wrong, I think that's King and this is Queen. It's one or the other. I'm pretty sure I got it right there. And then we got some, other little buildings down here. Well, let's go take a peek. And there's a massive underground system for Reserve. That'll definitely be covered in the video, because the video is going to focus largely on loot, and it's going to be a big highlight on the different areas that are worth obtaining keys and unlocking. So definitely some locked rooms in here already. We'll be checking all this stuff out. I think there's three locked areas just in this specific spot alone, but again, we're just going to keep this pretty basic. Still got to do Shooterborn. Yeah, man, and you got to do Shooterborn on this map now instead of on Interchange, which I think was a good change. So the big dome building, it's got some extra content inside of it. Lots of loot to be had. There's a big focus on locked rooms, I would say, with Reserve. There's certainly enough room to find loot without any keys. There's places where you can even find keys within the map, of course. There's actually a key spawn in here somewhere, but I don't know where. But, you can see all around, right? So we got file cabinets, computers, safes. Stuff's just laying there waiting for the taken. I'm trying to decide if in the guide if I'll actually go down here or if I'll go down into the basement system of the first building. And I think that's what I think the basement to start with will be what I do. So there's a bunch of keys available to be found in the lower parts of the dome. And the dome actually leads all the way to here, so you can take the underground system, go all the way down, and you can make it to White Pawn. And yeah, like there's a major amount of connection to the map, which is really cool. Because if you want to, you want to lurk around, you want to play the quieter, sneaky game, this map definitely will accommodate. You can really play reserve a bunch of different ways. So as we mentioned before, the buildings are labeled, so we can see a white pawn, we can see a black pawn, and if we have a look at the apartments here, there's 4 floors. So we can see that there's a lot of similarities, and these buildings are connected in the underground system too. Right below me, there's actually like a big way where you can run around and connect to pretty much all of them. So we got black pawn. This helicopter is unmistakable. There's even spawns inside here. Getting stuck in here would kind of suck. You can find intelligence folders in here. That's something that's pretty big with this map, or the high value loots. I think people call this the school. So another really common building. And one of the first things that you'll end up learning if you watch any kind of guide. We come up and have a quick run up here. So you can jump out this window, jump down onto here, and then we're actually, so this will be one of the keys. This door's locked. This will be one of the keys that's in the guide, but you don't need the key in order to get into this room. And this is one of like the ones that hatchet runners just head to. Tons of electronic loot here, graphics card. Oh, it's a circuit board. Oh, I thought it was a graphics card. Oh, there we go. We weren't let down. So, this is what you see people do. Boom. They get in here, throw that in their pouch, and then they usually die to someone and, go rinse and repeat. And they'll just keep doing runs like that. And to get out of this area, you just go and give a little hop out. The map is also well known for raiders. So it is, there's raiders on 2 different maps. You can find them on reserve, you can find them on labs, and to get them on reserve, there's a little bunker. So this is, again, we have black pawn over there, we have white pawn right here, just to the right of white pawn, or here happens to be king. You can see this little bunker, and so inside there, we're going to go pull a switch. I don't want to pull it right now. A lot of people will call it wee-woo, but it's going to make the, the map pretty loud. Get a bishop, so a white bishop. Okay, so that's black bishop. I was trying to remember. And these people have obviously their own call-out names. I'm going to be using the ones that are on Map Genie, and then I'll be going off of quests and room numbers. So, respecting that other people will have different call-outs, you'll want to learn whatever your party typically calls things. We're going to get into those buildings back there in just a moment. We'll go have a little peek at the rest. So another big building that people love to rush. There's just so much loot, and as you can see, like, these buildings are big, right? They've got lots of different loot inside all of the different rooms. Jackets, toolboxes, weapons cases, tons of loose loot, and again, like, largely locked behind high value keys. You'll just find these keys as you're playing, as you're looting jackets on other maps. So we've got another couple of buildings that are very similar. We've got the night building, so we got white night, black night. And this is one of the areas where you'll find the scav boss for this map, Gluhar, or as I call him, Glucose. And again, you can always reference yourself based on the dome. So as we can see, the map has got a chess theme and how they label their buildings. We're gonna hop over to the other side of the area, and these are called the K buildings, as you can see. Again, like, everything's just nicely laid out. K buildings all have a number. This is another area where you'll find the scav boss. And as you can imagine, anywhere where you'll find the scav boss can get pretty busy. And the scav boss is well known for floating perfect grenades onto the top of your head. So I'm going to hop over to the other side of the K buildings. There's three three rows. You got 2 in each row, or I guess 3 columns, 2 in each column, however you want to look at it. And this is one of the buildings that I was saying you can't get to, so it's just there in the background. Got these towers spaced around the map. People will occasionally go up and wander in those. Some bunkers down towards the end, so we actually go on the other side of that fence. Some bunkers over there, and again, more loose loot. And we were seeing the keys drive the map. Well, you can find like millions of dollars worth of loot without keys, like millions and millions and millions. Like, we showed you a graphics card here, right? So these bunkers right here are the Hermetic, door bunkers. And we're actually going to go turn on that switch, because we'll show you where the extract is. So to get your perspective in the map, it doesn't take very long because of how small it is. I find that Reserve is nice for that. Like, out of the bigger maps, this one's probably the most approachable in terms of learning the layout, or at least the general feel. Learning to play it will be a different story. But, you come in here, a couple of offline sessions, you'll start to feel like things are looking a little bit familiar. And, then you can start drilling into a particular building, or learning a loot route, or learning, maybe you'll end up following my future map guide for the first few sessions. Obviously, it'll be up to you and how you would like to approach it, but I definitely think that, whenever I'm spending more and more time on this map, there will be a healthy amount of scav runs. A lot of people say that this is the only map to scav run on. I politely disagree with my customs runs, of course. But I think that's because of my consistency with customs. And I would likely be very consistent with this map too if I'd played it as much as I have the other. So in here is where we're going to find that switch. Hermetic door switch. And the rook buildings are full of intelligence too. Yeah, this map is just nuts for loot. That's the cool thing about it too. Like, it's not a very big map, but it's because it's so dense, people can be everywhere. And you could totally get into the map, swipe 500,000-600,000 in loot, and then just dip out. And that's what some people will do. They'll take there's actually another extract right over here. I don't know if this alarm will last for as long as I need it to. So we got our easy extract right here. Is it right here? Or am I looking for a different one? Oh, right here. So if you don't have a backpack, this is how you get out. You come in, swipe a whole bunch of loot off of the... well, thanks, Windows. Swipe a whole bunch of loot. You got your big armored rig. Like a TV 110 is pretty common for people to take in on budget runs. It's a tier 4 with 2x4 slots and tons of other space. Tons of extra space. And fighting raiders is cool. If you get to a point where you've learned all of the maps and your goal is to like rush at the beginning, so many people just come to Reserve because you'll kill raiders with your low level loot, and then you'll take all of their weapons, and then instantly you're a tier 4 soldier running around, with some tier 4, tier 5 stuff, and you can just be taking advantage of everything. It's kind of OP, I think. I think raiders should have scaling loot. That would seem the most appropriate if it's scaled with like the average stash amount of players, which I imagine is probably pretty low because the people that are uber rich are the exception. Hello, Reserve. Do you think after customs, Reserve is a good map to scav reg run? Yeah, dude. I think it definitely is. Like, you can make an argument for many different maps. So yeah, we got the 2 different bunkers here with big open doors. I definitely think that it would be like a high one to consider. This is where our extract is. So I'm not gonna hop out right here. Just gonna dip out real quick. Just got a little bit more we can show. I personally think that from a questing standpoint, Reserve doesn't make the, you know, the top 3 list, I would say mine are customs, interchange, and probably woods, I would say. And that's because like factory doesn't take long to get, you know? So here's a big train building. We'd mentioned rooks, full of intelligence. Got these B buildings. There's actually 3 marked rooms on reserve. Funny enough. One of them is right in the back there. And what I also wanted to show is I'm going to go underground here. Just real quick. I mean, so Gucci, I think you could definitely, like I said, make an argument for learning reserve as your second map. And strictly from like a fun standpoint, right? Like if you had a good consistent take on customs as your first map so that you can start knocking off your quests and then you're like slowly learning the other maps. One thing I wanted to show. So now that that alarm is no longer on, this light is red and we can't extract. So that power switch needs to be on, and it does go off after a certain amount of time. Can't remember what the exact timer was. It was reduced recently. I think reserve would probably be one of the most fun maps to learn because scav running is pretty enjoyable, and because it can be such an like a high impact map. The reason I say interchange is one of the higher priority ones is because the map is incredibly hard to play unless you have a reasonable understanding of it. At least I found it anyways. So I think that from like a progression standpoint, interchange is the one for me, and you can make boatloads of money there. But from like a fun standpoint, reserve might be the map. The only problem is that once people like really get into reserve and really like it, they may not want to play any other map. You know, there's a lot of people that just main this map and that's it. So we got our food storage down here. This is actually one of the areas you're going to need for a task. And again, like all of this stuff is just like so connected. Like you'll see where we come up here in a second. And this is like isn't even scratching the surface with the underground area. So we're on the other side of the K building. So if you wanted some perspective on what we just did there, so this is the little bunker thing that we came out of. There's a night building. There's a night building. And we were on the other side. Trying to see the bunker doors. Oh, that level 1 stamina. Well, let me tell you. Right over there. So we went in that second set of doors, went downstairs, and then we came up under here. So there's a ton of like opportunity for repositioning, flanks, like you can just ghost on somebody and escape. Reserve's got a ton of potential. I would say that the hardest part about reserve for a new player is understanding where you're vulnerable to long-range shots, and that can honestly, like, you know, happen in a lot of really random places. You know, reserve is an easy map to like get lost in a way, like, you know, as a player attacking others, you can people will just lose you. Like, look at this, it's just ammo sitting everywhere. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of reasons why reserve would be a priority for maps. And when I say like customs, interchange, and then woods, it's purely out of necessity for progression. If you're looking at like fun / profit, it would be, you know, I still think customs, interchange need to be in the top 3, but you'd also throw reserve in there. Okay. Shoreline in the list. Yeah, you know, the thing about Shoreline for me and my understanding of it is that I think Shoreline is very playable. I'm going to bring up a map to show why. I think Shoreline's very playable without a strong understanding of it. I'm going to quickly peek over at reserve in a minute. So these are just the map, Genie maps. So Shoreline, because here's your main extract in the bottom left, and then here's your other main extracts over here on the right. Like you can horseshoe the map. You can go either way, and you can stick to the outskirts of it. So I think that playing on Shoreline becomes a lot simpler. You know, you got your main PvP area in the middle of the map, and then tons of like roaming stuff happens here. So Shoreline is at least like it's doable without a strong knowledge. But yes, still very necessary. I think having a, having a a base knowledge of all the maps would be well worth your time. It just takes so much time. So like, how do you pick where to focus? So one thing that I was going to show, and so this is part of the information that I work with in order to start building these guides. And so like this is Learn Customs 01. You can find links to this stuff in the guides. These are all the 32 locations that I visit in the customs guide. The left side are links to these Map Genie maps. So if you're wanting to find a specific location, you can zoom in and you can see, or well, you can zoom out and see that this is where we are. And then generally I've paired up the wiki links with everything as well. So that can be helpful. And then over here, so we got reserve work in progress. So far, this is my list. I'm gonna try and trim a little bit. I'm also probably gonna grow it a little bit. I think that if I'm trimming things, it'll likely be certain extracts. Like I don't think people really need to know where Scavlands is. There's extracts in the game that you need to have a PMC and a scav at in order to get out, which it can happen, especially if you scav back into your own game. And then here, these are the keys that I've added recently. Most of these are just like, picked out of guides of recommendations that people have made, or, ones that I've found while doing research for it. And then again, like on the left, we have links to the Map Genie thing. The problem with these links, you're not going to be able to use them because you're not a pro user of Map Genie unless you've paid the $10 in order to unlock the pro features. And I just wanted to support the guy. The guy does really good maps. They take feedback almost instantaneously. If I make a suggestion on the maps, it gets added within a day, sometimes within an hour. But yeah, these are the map links, which you may not have access to, but you will have access again to all the wiki stuff. I think I broke some of my links here. Yeah, the spreadsheet's a little overwhelming, I find, but the goal of it is to make my job easier whenever I'm doing my research. And what I've done is, so there's the locations, there's the actual like names. I'm gonna start doing this for the maps too, where I have the call out names, or at least like the relevant information. So if you see scav or PMC, those are extracts. And then we'll have the quest links and then quest items that are needed. So if I'm looking at customs as another thing, so you can see, you need markers, which keys are actually required for certain things. So this can, it's just it's not fancy. It's not something you can't find anywhere else. It was just what I used in order to do my work, and then I wanted to make it available for other people if they wanted to use it as well. So let's get into it. Thanks, Taylor. I appreciate that, buddy. I'm feeling a fair bit better. No headache when I woke up today. Thank goodness. So I'm actually gonna start a fresh account here. I have a brand new PMC. It's called Standard Jet, and we're gonna play a couple of raids. I think I've got time for 2. And I'm not just gonna be like hammering at playing on this account. I'll only play it while I'm live, so you guys can see a little bit of that. And gonna do a little bit of the standard leveling, because I know people really struggle with the 1 to 10, and you'll see that it's possible for me to struggle too. And if you want, I'm gonna do a little bit of Tetrising right now, so you'll see how I go about that. So I like to keep all my backpacks at the bottom. I usually pick one of the 2 corners. Doesn't really matter which. And then what we're gonna do. So actually, I need 1 backpack. So you'll notice that I use my 1 backpack as a storage container for like transferring items quite a bit. And what we're gonna do is get our meds into 1 container. And this is like, standard account necessity. You're gonna need to use rigs in order to, just be okay with what's going on here. So my meds I generally keep up towards the top, and I'm gonna try and keep like the top 6 or 7 rows for just like looting. I'm gonna toss a whole bunch of ammo in here. I'm trying to see if there's any of this stuff I want to get rid of. Thankfully, I don't think there's anything that I just want to like outright delete. So we got ammo. And one of the reasons why I don't mind doing this with ammo now is because you can just right click and then load ammo. And I do this with attachments too because of the modding menu. And if you've been sleeping on the modding menu, I can't use it because I don't have my hideout unlocked. But if you've been sleeping on the modding menu, it is probably one of the most useful features for taking advantage of whatever limited amount of space that you have. And hopefully I'll be able to showcase that here in a little bit. So we'll grab a little bit of our armor. I'm actually going to use this rig too. That's my meds rig. And yeah, this is the only way that I can make my life like somewhat like, you know, I can keep my sanity while looking at a standard account. It has to be done. Okay. So I'm going to toss my armor down at the bottom. We've got a pack on. Cool. And don't worry, I won't be doing this for too much longer. Just going to put my food up at the top. And what do we got here? So we got that. I'm going to organize my guns here as well. This stuff, I guess, can live down here for now. Alright, so we got mags, got guns, got more mags, and I'm gonna be like, you know, just collecting tons of, so we're gonna take an MP5. I'm just gonna be collecting tons of rigs to try and expand my space. Oh yeah, we want the food up here. You take you. My money in. Money I just keep in the top left. That's where we're just gonna get rid of. Oh yeah, I have to identify stuff. Boo earns. Okay, so things are starting to look a little bit sane. I'm not gonna Tetris like too much, but I will keep my stash like reasonably functional. I'll just do it as quick as I can. Bottle of whiskey. Always need a bottle of whiskey, right? Meds. Okay. Here we go. Boom. We've got like a stash system already worked out. So typically, again, I go bags to the bottom. The reason that I do the bag in the bottom is because I use this little scroll bar quite a bit, and I'm gonna probably not keep anything smaller than this bag, at least, you know, pretty quickly. And then having my guns somewhere, you know, reasonably consistent is gonna be a good thing for me. I know some people don't really care. They'll just like, you know, put stuff wherever. And some people really fuss over symmetry. I used to, but it's a losing endeavor. It really is. I'm going to get rid of my knife. Going to get rid of this hat. I am pretty set on most of my other stuff. We do need a weapon. Did I get rid of mine? Okay. And so I'll unload you. Grab a couple of these. One of the hardest parts when you're first starting to, like, you know, get used to the guns and whatever, because you'll probably do what I did and you just keep your mags next to your gun. So, you know, right off the bat, the first thing that I would recommend you learn about stash management specifically is that when you double click anything, you have your relevant information at the top. So you can see Colt AR-15 5.56x45 Stang 30 round magazine. There's another part to this information that'll be important. So we can go down to the bottom right, compatible with. So between knowing that this information at the very top, so out of all of this information here, I would say this very top bar, and then this compatible with, those are the two that are going to help you the most when you're brand spanking new and everything is still really overwhelming about weapons. So this is what we're going to do here. I do want to bring some ammo. And that's something I do too usually is I'll leave a stack of something close to my rigs that I can get a sense of what's going on in them if I need to. And I want a stack of you. So I've got 3 20 round mags. That's gonna be good. We're gonna go over to Ragman. I am gonna have to examine this stuff, so this would be another part that you would do right off the bat. You have to check my settings too. Just got the modding menu and I can't use it for anything. So the modding menu shines when you are modding your weapons, obviously. So what you'll end up using it for, Taylor, is let's say you want to save some space, right? This is going to be kind of a clunky example. So see how we have, you know, our regular M4 right here. So mags can't be in your weapon when you're doing this. And I do this a lot with AKs, and you'll see this soon. So if I want to save some space, I'm going to take off my pistol grip, right? So take off my pistol grip, and now my weapons are quite a bit less in terms of the space that they're taking up. So the reason why this would matter for the modding menus, because if I go in here, make sure you have enough room for the gun to expand. Right click, go to your modding menu, and you know, I wish I could show it, but you'll see the red location in the bottom right of the modding menu, and that's where you would pick from your available weapon, or from your available pistol grips. So that's something that I'll take advantage of pretty early on, but obviously I need to build the workbench. So that, you know, this is another little thing that you're gonna have to do as a brand new player. Is you're gonna need to save space in any way that you can. So we're just gonna get super basic gear, spend a little bit of our not hard-earned money. And as far as meds go, I definitely am gonna want a bandage. I think I have a tourniquet. Yeah. So this is where, you know, you're gonna need to spend a certain amount of money to make sure that your raid is like, you're not getting like messed out of your raid. And I'm actually gonna, yeah, I'll just bring this one. So I don't want to like get stuck in the raid not being able to fix a heavy bleed. That seems awful, right? So I am going to carry like a couple extra bits of meds that you might find you're like, oh, you're carrying a lot of stuff, right? So these are my standard 4. I have a heavy bleed, I have an HP, I have a light bleed, and then painkillers. Those are like the necessities. For me, I'm going to bring another AI2 into the raid, and I do want to have 2 splints and 2 heavy bleeds, because if you like basically 2 of each of those for me, because I find that I have run out, and it sucks to need to leave the raid or to die because you're missing one or 2 of those. So what I'll do is I'm gonna grab splints. I'm just gonna keep in my backpack, and we're gonna keep an extra AI2 on us, which I guess will go here. So I'm gonna bring, actually no, I don't need to bring my Vaseline. I'll do this. And what I've done strategically is I've put the minimum that I have for my meds on my person so that I can hotkey them. Again, it needs to go in your pockets or your rig. So for a brand new player playing Tarkov, this is how you hotkey. You can either click and drag onto the desirable spot, and you get 4 through 0 in order to hotkey, or you can just hold your mouse over and press the button that you want. So if I press 8, 9, 0, you can see the item changing down here. And then when you get a sense of how you like your buttons to be organized, repeatedly do the same thing. Give yourself some consistency there. So I'm putting some extra meds inside my alpha, and as soon as I get items that are worth more than these items, I'll just move these out into my backpack or discard as needed. But typically, you know, I make sure that I can cover all of my survival needs in the raid, and then my second goal is to start making profit or get quest items. So we've got a pretty basic kit. I think we're ready to go. Try our first raids. I am going to examine the rest of these. The reason why this is a necessity, there's 2 reasons. One is it's going to help you level up, so that's obviously to your benefit. And 2, when you're in the raid, when you see an item, the game's going to force you to examine it before you can pick it up. So by examining the items here, you're giving yourself a bit of an edge. And I think that that's, you know, pretty important for creating survival in the game. I had no idea some of these items were available now from Skier. This is interesting. So this is my, you know, fresh experience playing with the adjustments that they made to the traders. And what they did with Skier specifically is they added the 8R for direct purchase. This is a very common upgrade for the AK series weapons. It just adds 1 ergo, but ergo is always helpful. And then they added a grip right at the very start, like a decent grip. So this is awesome. You know, we'll end up using this stuff as we go. So we got that. Let's get over here and examine him. So, you know, this is nice to do at the very start too is you can just kind of get a look at everything. You don't need to pay attention to what every single item does whenever you're brand new. I definitely think that there's like anything in Tarkov, there's an overwhelming amount of stuff, but as long as you have a few basic guns and there's a ton of different recommendations for what to use under level 10, you can just stick to the stuff that people recommend, and then otherwise, just look at stuff if you feel like it. But I found that when I started out, it was really hard to understand what I was looking at exactly. Like, I didn't know what to look for. I didn't know what all these extra parts did. I didn't know like what the components of a gun actually were. Never fired one in my real life. Yeah, they've definitely added some stuff to the level 1 traders, trying to make the game more approachable. I appreciate that. So once I'm done this, we'll actually hop into the raid. Something that I'm going to be looking out for quite a bit are these powders. So I'll be hitting loot caches as I go. It's one of my primary ways for gaining experience outside of doing tasks. This is one of the ways that I'm going to expand my space early on. Or, well, hopefully early on. Depends on how lucky we get with finding those. Something else we're going to do too, so I'm going to go to them last. Just make sure everybody here. So Fence, the way that Fence works is that anyone that sells something to Fence, those items appear here. So if you take an item and you sell it to Fence, I'm going to see them in Fence's list. So Fence's list is always changing. If you ever wonder why Fence's items look so weird, and I'm not going to sit here forever and do this, but I just wanted to explain that briefly about Fence. And then Therapist, so she's got one of our tasks. Tasks will always be in the trader menu up at the top. Click tasks, and then the button for accepting is up here in the top. This should honestly have like some sort of high contrast color around it. I don't know if they'll change some of these things, or like like some sort of easy on the eyes green or an orange or a red or something, but like something should draw your eyes up there, because I have a lot of situations where people have no idea. They're like, how do I accept my task? I don't know. It's not very intuitive, even though like the positioning of it is intuitive. There's just so much on the screen, like your mind and eyes are already trying to filter. So we've got to find 3 Saluas. We can find them in raid, or we can craft them. And then for proper, we're going to get our other task here too. So these are the first 2 tasks that we'll get. Kill 5 scavs on customs, and we got to find these MP133 shotguns. And probably the most valuable thing you can do at the very beginning if you're trying to do these tasks is to not try and figure it all out on your own. Like, you could totally, if you're a puzzle solver and you want to do it, go for it. But I recommend you just go to Google, type in the name of the task, type in Tarkov, and third keyword would be wiki, and you will find everything you need for doing these tasks. Locations, you'll find pictures. It'll make the whole process a lot easier, because I think it's well worth your time to make the game as simple as you possibly can when you start. So we're almost done examining, and then I'll actually hop into a raid. You will spend a fair bit of your time in inventory. It's well worth your effort to get faster at managing your inventory. So, I'll try and share little tips, little insights, things that I just do automatically now, but things that would help people along. And just, the goal is to get out of your inventory as fast as you can and into playing the game, right? But we've got everything we need. We've got a bag for things. We've got a rig for more space. We've got our safe container, which we can never lose. And then we've got a weapon, helmet, and our armor is not good, but we're gonna do what we can. So customs, I always typically play daytime. You're gonna find 2 options. You can always play an offline as well. I recommend that for your first raid ever. The answer to the question, should I insure my gear? The answer is always yes. It does not matter how expensive it is. If you think the insurance is too expensive, don't use the item. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of... I shouldn't have insured that. I'm just gonna get a normal face mask. And you're like, why a face mask? By the way, I just held down Alt and clicked. So when you hold down Alt and click, it's gonna put it on your character. If you press Control and click, it'll put it into your containers here. So typically your backpack, but there are some exceptions. I'm not gonna talk about those. But why a face mask? Because look at that dude's face right there versus this dude's face. So that pale face is going to show up in you know, areas where you might be behind foliage a little bit easier. So we're always going to cover our face. The reason I took off that half mask is because I can trade them in for armor. Unlock Jaeger and buy the shotguns. Jaeger's definitely a good one. Shotguns are super fun. Shotguns are amazing when the wipe is fresh, when people don't have crazy armor on. And even then, like, shotguns are still really good. Shotguns are fun. There's some shotguns that are just like a blast, literally, to play with. So they have such high damage, and I'm sure anyone that's played Tarkov for a bit has probably been sniped by a scav with a shotgun. That's terrifying. Like, I'm legitimately scared of scavs. Anytime I see one, if he's got a shotgun in his hands, I'm like, you know, I'm running. Getting a sneaky position on him. I'm not going to try and trade shots with him because he'll kill me. From over 100 meters away, it's like, it's nasty. Flechettes are kind of tricky because they, because of their damage amount. Most people just say buckshot. AP-20 or flechettes. I like AP-20, but it's basically, you know, it's like a four-man sniper. AP-20 is fun to shoot people long range with. Like, you can shoot really, really long range. And yeah, Jaeger is a bit of a pain. In terms of the tasks for unlocking Jaeger, yeah, I totally understand how he's a punk. The other side of it is if you're falling behind for selling stuff to Jaeger, or buying or selling, there's a lot of items that Jaeger pays the same amount to therapists, so that part can be a little bit easier. But yeah, the tasks for Jaeger, there's something else. He's become like the Tarkov meme at this point. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't tried including something like you must wear an eye patch in real life with your camera on. And then, you know, play with your mouse in your left hand. As task number 1. I'm surprised it's not there. We'll just ignore the difficulty in actually accomplishing something like that. We'll just say it's a real thing. I don't know how they'll continue the like super hard mode of Tarkov in the future, because as more quality content comes out, the game becomes more approachable. And I think the only ones that are really lost in Tarkov now are just the ones that haven't found the creator guides that exist out there, or they haven't taken the time to go through them. I still read of people all the time, even today, someone that's just frustrated with the game, that hates it, that thinks it's stupid. And then they, you know, talk a little bit about what they're doing, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I can point out all of your mistakes right now in, like, you know, 2 sentences. And generally, it's you haven't learned the maps or you're using terrible ammo. That's usually the answer. Keep buying defuel. That is one way to go. All right. So beginning of any raid, like, you're gonna want to move quick just to start off with. We can do our like methodical movement as we go, but we're gonna get in to a loot spot I wanted to check, and the examining will begin. So this area is really cool because you can actually find a docs case on these shelves. Couldn't remember if there was anything actually on them. So I'm gonna try and do a lot of my like examining while I'm in other loot containers. That's one way that you can offset a bit of the time that you're spending. So, you know, I'll organize my loot while I'm searching. And this stuff here, I'm not even going to bother. I think this is one of our powders. So we're going to get rid of our cheapest 2 items, which are those 2. We're going to put this one here. Grab our light. We have no way of attaching it to our gun. I'm going to throw my headset right there, and I'm going to wear this one. So the reason why you always... The reason why you always insure your gear is because you can generally replace it. And we know that there's a player back there. Oh, no. Come to think of it, this is also what I should be doing. I want to fight that guy on my own terms, but I wasn't sure if he was one of the bad homies. By the way, you jump higher when you go sideways or backwards. So we can see this has been looted. We now know where that one player had come from. So take a moment, organize my loot. Typically, the stuff that is higher value, I'm going to put towards the bottom. And this is just a habit that I've developed over time. It works for me. And I like to put 2 square items on the right, 1 square items on the left. This top row I'm not going to worry about too much. I don't think matches are really that high value, but they are once you get access to the flea market. They're definitely useful. So that person that we heard back there could have been the scav. And we're gonna try and pop him in a sec. So I'm just gonna clean up over this area. Person that was in here may have left some loot. That's weird. Something you're going to have to get used to quite a bit too is reloading your ammo. You'll want to do this early. So something that you might feel inclined to do when you first make a kill in Tarkov is you're going to just run up and loot. Well, that's a good idea sometimes, but a lot of the time that is going to be what helps you meet your end. So that body ain't going nowhere. But we do want to have at least a tiny bit of awareness of our surroundings, and I still may die. We'll see. So I'm using alt-click for as many of these things as I can. Having to examine items, as we mentioned before. And then get back into concealment as soon as we can. It's not a good weapon by any means, but he would have been able to kill me with it, that's for sure. A large majority of the time, if I'm in an exposed area, I will run. But otherwise, it is absolutely fine to walk. My problem's not the money, but the quests. If you're struggling with quests, I would say that you will, find a lot of success with them if you give yourself more time to actually attempt the quest part. Oh, this is fun. So I'm just going to be picking up and putting on different loot because I gain more experience. But yeah, like give yourself time. Go spend more time looting the map and then come to the quest later. I have a bit of an advantage because I know what ammo is like okay and what's not. We are just going to take loot for the sake of taking loot for a bit, but now with our helmet, I'm just going to find a nice green area, ditch it there too. So we're, ideally we're going to get that back. Most people won't see that. In fact, if I want to make it a little bit harder. Toss that right in there. So we'll do a little bit of organization. We've got this Taz, which, it's good because I might need it for a task. I know that I do need one later. And then in terms of stuff, we'll put our functional items at the top. And the reason I keep my lower priority items at the top is because if I need to get rid of something because I'm full, then I'll know that I can just get rid of the stuff up here as needed. And the the meds I can replace. So knowing the value of the things that you're ditching if you brought them in is important. You just want to make a money decision, and if you don't know the values, you'll learn slowly over time. So don't worry about it. You don't need to rush. What quests specifically are you having problems with, Gushi? Good question, Carlos. So what I've been doing by hiding my gear around the map, this is what people will know as insurance frauding. And it's one of the ways that you can make money with your gear. So you're wearing out other gear, which is great because you don't need to carry both helmets. You can just wear one out. You can put yours in a bush somewhere. As long as you're stashing things in a decent spot, you'll often get it back. And then two, now my risk is lower. So I'm if I do die, the person is likely to take the gear on. The person's likely to take the gear on my person, not the stuff that I've hidden in a bush somewhere. So I'm just going to get to cover right now and make sure that my mags are taken care of. I'm going to put this on my person here just for now. That way I have some more room to pick up that other gun that I'll eventually get off the dude. And actually I don't need these. So, it would be nice to just use a few bullets there, but I ain't gonna mess around with these guys. So again, while I'm vulnerable, a little bit quicker on my feet. Right now I'm looking up at these windows. Just quickly peeking around. This is an area where you'll find other scavs. Grab shotgun. Examine item. He's got things. And a key. Don't know what the key is. Is it a key that I care about? It's a safe key. So let's get rid of you. Please don't throw a grenade. So again, you know, get somewhere with some cover. What I'm going to do is drop a little bit of my stuff so that I have something to come back to here. I'm going to create a little stash space for myself. So again, like knowing the value of things is really important. So I know that as marches are only worth 2k. If I start running out of space, they're low priority. They're obviously going to help me while I'm in the raid. So I'm going to still want to keep my 2 for my survival. But once if I get towards the end of the raid and I'm almost out, those are going to be the first things that I'll ditch in order to min-max all my space. Cold-blooded and tough guy. I can't remember what tough guy is. Cold-blooded is a little tricky. That is true. So got an AK. I have to examine it. And drop those items in there. Control click. I think this is the same level as my P.A.K.A., so we're just going to get rid of it. I'm going to get rid of this. Grab the 20,000 rubles. Okay, so this shotgun is not one of the ones that we need. So the shotgun that we would need is the MP15 or 133. This one, unfortunately, is not the one, but the AK is a solid weapon, so we're actually going to use that. Get rid of the shoddy ammo. I don't remember gas station safe key. I don't think it's worth a ton. I can't put this on either of my guns. That would be a good use for it. But what I could do, it's on here. We're going to take off this sprut. This will help us min-max our loot a little bit. So I'm going to drop my bank robber, put the bigger rig on. And then we'll just grab some of this stuff here. So I'm going to insurance fraud my bank robber here. Eliminate two PMCs with a headshot while having a tremor. Do you know the trick for that one, Gucci? And then 3 scabs and not use medicine. I can give you recommendations for both of those. Alright, so let's toss that. We need to keep our ammo on us, and I can drink this. So this light here is worth, I think, 15k or so. So like the 20k makes sense. Normally rubles wouldn't be the right thing. And the only reason why the powder is going into my safe container is because I can use this for a trade for the ammo case. So having an advanced knowledge is going to benefit me a ton in the beginning. I know what items to take, and this is something where I'm going to really like separate myself from a brand new player. So, the best thing you can do is to use the wiki in order to find lists of things that are going to benefit you, or to be curious through the traders, or to come talk to someone like me, like, hey, what items should I be looking out for? Watching, this guide series, or Pastilli. Pastilli's awesome. He's got a ton of knowledge for the game. So any one of those are going to be good. And we're going to put one of our mags right here. Check our mag. So now we've got another full auto gun. Put it into full auto. So this is the stuff we're going to leave around. So we've insurance frauded a ton of stuff. May as well take the extra as march. Yeah, tricks or tips. So with the tremor one, what you're going to want to do is have someone like, you know, at some point in the game, you're going to get a broken arm. What you want to do is get out of the game with your broken arm and not heal it so that you have a broken arm to go into a raid with. And then what you want to do is go to factory. Obviously, this is slightly dependent on your spawn, but you want to wait somewhere for 30 seconds, and then a tremor will kick in. You can pop a painkiller or one of the long-use ones, ibuprofen, Vaseline, any of those are going to be good. And he's in that building across from us, I think. So you get that tremor, have that, and then you're just going to want to go into a place like factory and go and fight near the office. So obviously this is going to be, you know, sometimes you're going to lose. But the real key is to not heal your break, to just heal the rest of your body and to get a broken arm. That would be the easiest way for that one. That's what I would do anyways. Like, you know, for factory, even if you're not that great at factory, like you'll still be able to go in and get some kills, you know, use whatever your weapon of choice. But that's like sort of the trick for doing that one. And then for the woods one, dude, go into a woods raid, find a bush that's as big as your character and just go hang out in it for like 20 minutes or something, watch another video, 25 minutes, and then, you know, move to the other side of the map towards your extract and find 3 scavs on the way. That'd be the easiest way for that Jaeger task. And yeah, there you go. Finding a spot would be worth. So I don't know if this dude's gonna come into my cozy building here. An army bandage. Nice. We just got 2 of them now. Dang it. For a second, maybe I didn't bring mine in. And actually, I should check this weapons case. This is like bread and butter of leveling up a brand new account. You know, just explore all the different buildings. Again, because I have an advanced knowledge, or like I have a base knowledge of what exists in the game. We got another one. Because I know, you know, a fair bit about the game, I'm going to be able to take advantage of that knowledge. And that's like honestly what Tarkov is. The more you know about the game, the better off you're going to be. But yes, loot everything. I'm getting so much EXP just from looting. I killed him by accident? That is an excellent accident. And yes, he is terrifying. Good job, dude. That's too funny. Easy. You're going to need his helmet for later. Not the mask, just the helmet. Worried about getting blasted right here. Surprise! Examine. Couldn't even remember what my examine button was. A D-size battery. On bolts! Everybody loves bolts. You said a gun I wanted and started shooting like crazy? Hey, yeah, dude. There you go. See, it's not so bad when you don't psych yourself out in the game. Kill is no problem. I'd say like biggest tip early on for a brand new player starting out like this is like try and play the like lesser traveled areas, and you know, the hardest part's going to be the first 5 minutes. You'll either get bopped by some dude that's just rushing through, you know, picking on little people. Or you'll make it. Actually want that mask. But we'll take this for now. Not the shotgun we want, but it's alright. So this rig here is going to help us because it's going to give us a little bit more space. So we're going to take all of our higher value loot. And we will put it into the rig. So 1 square items and 1 square spaces is going to be helpful for us. What else do we want in here? I guess we'll go that one. I don't want to put the mag in there. That doesn't make sense. I want to... There we go. And again, like, you know, I can be using alt-click. So if you find yourself not using alt or control-click, like, force yourself, I would go back and just, like, do it over again, honestly. Make yourself do it. I thought I heard a man's. Control and alt-click is probably one of the first mechanical things that you're going to want to force yourself to learn. I'm watching these windows as I walk up. So the extra rigs, like finding a new rig to replace yours is big because you're making money with it. Finding extra rigs for your backpack is going to be good because you can fit more items inside your bag. So that's one of the like strategy tips that you'll want to start employing early on as you can. And you're largely just going to get these items from your scav kills. So close quarters, I'm going to pull out my weapon with bigger mags. Clear my environment before I start looting. It's always a good habit. Oh, what a tease, right? I need that. ERS ammo, not that great. Yeah, that's so mean. More PRS ammo. That's the ammo we want. I didn't even know what that ammo was. Interesting. So I'm going to get rid of one of my Esmarch. What I'm going to do now is top load 7 bullets into each mag with BT ammo. And what I understand is these two ammos are not the same. They have different damage, they have different penetration, and BT is going to give me a little bit of a higher edge when it comes to a fight with a player. So this sort of tactic is time consuming. But it is going to make my character a lot more dangerous. Oh, what did I just do there? Oh, I see. I dropped you down there. You can go in there. You can go down here. I think I'm just going to get rid of that bandage. So my mag that I had tried to take out dropped on the ground. A common rookie mistake. And I may as well get the extra ammo. It'd be kind of foolish to run out of ammo and not have the bullets to kill somebody. Okay. You'd be wise to close doors whenever you can. I love that you just bopped Killa. That's excellent. Not a very high value key, but we have the space. We'll take it. What are you? A can of sprats. And now we're running out of space. So I will get rid of... Let's get rid of matches. Milk? That was amazing. We're just gonna accept that we need to reload. Guess I can examine these things. Elite. They are elite. Oh, okay. I honestly don't know. It's getting very hard to decide now. I need the meds. I want the ammo. I get rid of Zibo and gas station. And then for now we put there. Those will be useful for completing a quest. And I think I'm just gonna drink. Oh, on a site? Goodness gracious. Optics are your friend. You need the optics. So notice I'm not like running around. I don't need to, so I don't want to alert somebody through audio of my location. It's not going to serve me any substantial benefit to move just a little bit quicker. Oh, hello. Oh, hey there. I really want the army bandages. Do I? I think I just get rid of one of these mags, but these mags are going to be beneficial to me. Is this going to give me more space? It is. Always wear your biggest rig. This is a big mag. Big mag. And I guess we can go there. There. Look at that. We got enough space for everything now. I did the thing. The village next to the bridge extract, if you're looking at the woods map, is in like the far north. So there's a very specific spot that I want to check. It's a little dangerous. Is very specifically this jacket. We found the cheese, but that could have very easily been a Salua. Saluas can spawn in weapons cases. We're going to try in here too. No such luck. Grab that anyways. Made 5 scav kills seem pretty easy. So yeah, knowledge in Tarkov is going to like... It's going to be your greatest asset. And that generally will be where people will struggle in the beginning. Please nobody be looking. I normally don't like to do something like this, but we're gonna grab it. Can't remember how much the crowbar is worth. Don't worry about it. No key card? Okay. Run! Isn't that nice? Carlos is good people. And I'm totally down to like do the same thing, right? As long as I got time in between school and whatnot. And if people want to set up raids, like just reach out to me on Discord. I can make a raid happen here and there. Speaking of raids, I'll only have time for this one. Need to get to my caches. What do you got for me here? A serve kit? Holy smokes. And we need that Tashanka. Okay. Bye-bye bandage. Bye-bye caps. Got those two. Check. Bye-bye you. Wires aren't going to be worth that much to me right now. Bye-bye you. Hope I don't regret that. I don't know why I'm fighting for a serve kit right now, because I don't have a gamma to put it in. It's kind of a foolish item for me to be taking, honestly. It's alright, it helped us make some other decisions. Good for that reason. We take nails, we can stack rubles. I think I need meds. Oh, vey. We're gonna leave meds. So something that I need to make sure I'm keeping in mind now is that because my rig is full, anytime I reload, I'm gonna drop my mag. So keeping sharp eye on my left and on my right. Obviously a little bit to my center. I'm moving just a little bit quicker. Slightly exposed area. I'm not expecting to see many people up here, but you're always gonna want to be ready. It's when you lay your guard down that you're in trouble. Propagna. And cigarettes. I don't know why my mag is low. Oh yeah, right. I tapped that one scaff. So I'm just utilizing the container here to reload my mag. We can have a quick check of the time. Getting pretty low, so I'm going to want to, move with some sort of haste to the other side of the map, but I'm still going to keep checking stuff. 10 minutes left in the match means that I can be a bit more aggressive with my movements, but that being said, I have died plenty of times with just a couple minutes left in an area where I didn't check, like, not looking around that corner or something. Someone just seems to be there, and I don't know why. Toolboxes are a good source for the, should I just get rid of it? Ugh. Feels bad, man. I can't really use it. A CMS kit's going to be infinitely more useful. Yeah, we're going to keep checking toolboxes just to try and find the powders. So, I've got 2 of these blue powders. I need to find 5 blue and 2 green. And that's going to give me an ammo case, which will be huge. Anything that's going to increase my storage space is basically what I need and what I want right now. Always checking my corners. I'm mostly looking off into the distance. Someone could be right around the corners, but I'm wanting to get a heads up into the areas that I'm in. think my main goal now with the time the way it is, just to not be lazy as I'm moving. I can always get caught, you know, if someone was in the right spot on this hill, I would be in a bad spot if I was just coming running over it, so they would hear me. Uh-oh, that's not good. Run! It's a very full container. Squash. Do I need that for Jaeger? I guess I can take it. Got the room. Bag we don't need to worry about. Gotta worry about this scav on my right though. So he's more than likely looking for me. But as soon as he loses sight of me, he should head in the direction that I was. Appears the people are fighting down the road. Squash is selling pretty well. No flea market. He's got a shotgun. There's 3 around me right now. Who needs legs, right? Okay, well at least now we get to use this stuff. I think I dropped one of my splints. Oh god. That's good enough for me, man. You know what? GG's to them. GG's. I think I still need to reload my gun again. Alright, he dropped my extra mag. Okay. So if you were ever trying to find scavs, they're right there. In that spot. That's where they all are. Every one of them. Oh god. Ugh. You son of a... I was gonna try and duck, but I should have gone prone, and so I like stutter stepped and couldn't go prone, and then he wasted me. We got good kills though. And we still get some levels. 4,000 EXP even when we die. Alright. PS rounds. Oh, that was a 7.62 round. No wonder it got me. Message redacted. I don't even know. Noted. Awesome. Well, that's how it goes. I almost had the guy too. All right. Well, we got 2 powders. We got 2 powders. Huge. Huge. And we got a knife. So the knives are going to be nice. I will keep the knives. So when I'm trying to like decide where am I going to keep all this extra stuff, the things that I know I can pull out of a stack of containers would be like barter items, anything that has to go to a trader specifically, so I can put those items inside my backpacks. I don't like to put things like ammo inside of them. That's not going to be a good idea for me. So these are a couple easy items to put into my backpack stack. And so whenever, you know, I'm going to try and grab a new backpack, I'll end up doing it like this. But I think what I'll end up doing here is, yeah, there's nothing I can do. 7:30. Trying to decide if I want to try and do a quick scav run. Do I do a quick scavvy? Do I do the scavvy boy? So this is another item that I can throw in here. I don't care about the headsets, so we'll just use whatever. And then we're gonna sell this stuff. So fence is the only one that I can sell my knives to at the beginning, and I'm just gonna get rid of them. You don't need a knife. So we're level 2. That's sweet. Level 3 even, which means we can unlock gunsmith. Awesome. Introduction. Sweet. Find Jaeger camp. We just need 2 more of these shotguns. Still need our Saluas. I don't think there's anything else that we've unlocked. It's always good, like, whenever you're first learning, to just come in here and check. Be like, anybody else? Anybody else? Knives are for a barter trade. So something that's worth, like, if you're just learning the trader stuff, one thing that I would recommend that you do, even with level 1 traders, the beginning, is coming in just looking at the barter items. So this is going to be, you know, it'll narrow the list significantly. So I've just filtered by barter. And so these brown handled knives will give me another one of these lovely MP5s, which are a good go-to beginner weapon. And then the silver knives, which, you know, I would prefer to just take the brown handle knives, but if I don't have a choice, then I'll take these silver ones or the gray ones or whatever, you know, whatever color it looks like to you, and you can trade in for this pistol. So those are, you know, 2 of those barter items that I could look at for early on. The rest of these, you know, I'm not gonna use any of those. This one maybe the MBSS, definitely not the grenade. I'm not in the business of trading Zibbos. Other good barters here at the beginning. Let's see. So this one, you know, could be a good one for you, the AKS 74U. This one is a useful barter, the PP19. Some people will do the PKO6, or not PKO6, sorry, the PSO scope to put onto a SKS. So, you know, they'll trade in the 2 plugs, but you do need plugs for later on. This is another good trade right here, the AKM, but again, you need Tushonkas for task. What are some other good ones? I mean, this one is good if you want to try and collect the batteries. Therapist. You can get the Saluas for paids. I don't typically end up doing this one, but like if you did need the meds, like you really needed the meds, then you could do that. Anyways, let's do a quick scav run. Let's try it. I'm just gonna haul up butt the entire time. Interchange scav run. Let's do it. Yeah, that's the one. That'll be quick. I know I said that I was gonna get off after that, but I'm in like the Tarkov mode now. Raid got me excited, despite the fact that we died. Like that was probably the last point where I would see a scav, or any kind of danger for that matter. I could even have checked for the car. Quick scav raid. I've got time. I don't have 30 minutes, but I've got like 15 to scav run. Yeah, the MP5s are nice, Tay. The only one that I don't really like, I don't like the one that's missing the stock, because the recoil on it is just sick. Like it's awful. If a gun is like outrageously high recoil, I won't bother. I would just rather use something like... I tend to lean towards the semi-auto weapons because I find that they're a lot more forgiving whenever they're like weakly kitted. But there are some exceptions, like that PP-19 is really nice. The MP5 is really nice. The stock AKs can be all right as long as you're using them at the right range, and then otherwise tap fire them. Yeah, like really bare bones weapons, depending on what they are, like I won't even touch them. 19 minutos. There's a toolbox in here somewhere. Muzak. Where's my toolbox? I need my tools. I don't know this side so well. Scav runs. Always check what ammo you're working with. I'm going to bind my only med here so we can fix one bleed. Oh, there's my toolbox. I knew it was here somewhere. Control click. Control click everything. Oh, 2 hoses. Hey. Alright, time to go. Time to go. May as well start looking for lions. God, I hate the lions. I hate the lions. So these cases in interchange, this is where you can find what I'm talking about. You'll find them like sitting inside the drawers, all like weird, clipping out of the item. I was wondering what you were. Lion? No lion. Oh, actually, we should check the tech room. Nope. Last chance for a lion. No lion. Chances are this tech room has been hit, but you always want to look. Sometimes weird things happen. There's a drill there. I think I might need the drill. So I would rather just take the item and examine it once it's in my inventory, as opposed to what I just did there. I think someone's been in here. So I'm going to put my 1 square items in 1 square spaces, try and move everything else around. When you hear the slide... Oh my god. It's almost always a scav. And this is one of the shotguns that I need. I think that scav right there had one of the shotguns that I need to. I thought there was another computer. Computers are always nice to check. So I do want to... So there's that guy down there. Oh, that's the same guy. I just don't want to mess myself over by, like, taking a scav out and then having to fight a whole bunch of them from at range while, you know, got a shotgun in my hands and everything. What gun do you have? Oh, you have my gun. Well, thank you, sir. Oh, you've got the other thing that I need too. Oh, and that thing too. Oh my. The back of this gun I need. I just gotta be careful. Check the time. 14 minutes. Okie day. Don't the mannequins ever freak you guys out in here? Heh, heh. Try not to get shot in the back of the head, because that would suck. So I'm actually going to loop through. I'm going to go to the back of Ollie, quickly check that on my way out, and then go to Emercom. Most corners, you're going to notice that I'll come around with my light on, opening to blind an enemy. Close. Alrighty then. Someone stole all my computer parts. Now we're in Goshen. I'm gonna bust through here, look for some Tushunkas. Like, why are you crouched over there? What do you know that I don't? What do you know? What have you found out, sir? He knows things. This guy knows. What have you seen, friend? You find big Chad guy. Walk around with big gun. Maybe we get him together. Shotgun to face. Is he that way? Which way he go? I like this guy's vest. But I think we're going to let him keep it. Alright, you keep watch. I'll get the food. Oh, it's not even the right food. Dang it. Food's food though, right? Alright, you keep watch, bro. Give me a good old... Now he's yelling. You give me heads up. You see somebody, alright? Zukov. That's a good handguard. I always love the scav lass. Okay. We go now. Oh yeah. It's always worth checking in here. You find gold chains. I think you can actually find bitcoins in those things too. Obviously a rare spawn. Check the weapons case. Always check the weapons case. You never know when you're going to find your Salua. It was not this time. Oh. Cigarettes. No wonder you left them. Bad for health. Oh, a mask. Yes, 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 yes. Ordera? Yes. Somebody's got an M4. And it's quiet. Oh my. We're either going to die right here or we're not. Oh, what are you doing? Look at them go. You go up there too. Yeah. Yeah. Join your friend. Go to tech. You never know. Someone might have left a graphics card. Just don't want them to come down and see me. I would like to be ghost. Oh, what are you? Nails? Do I need nails? I think I need nails more than a lamp. I'm trying to remember what hideout loot I need. More nails. That is something I don't have memorized. I know some of the standout items, but not everything. So this is one of the spots that you're likely to die. Because people love Ollie. And then you're like, but Jet, why are you running into the back of Ollie then? What's going on here? You have a death wish? Because people leave things for rats like me. Just leave them back here. Oh, no. Oh God. I'm sorry. I was just kidding. What is that squad of scavs there? Jiminy Jillikers. I don't want to be friends with them. It's time to go. I was gonna go to the other extract, but you know what? This seems safer. There is no safe place. A dead guy right there? That's pretty random. What do you got, dead friend? Hello. Oh, you're a dead scav. He's just always here. I did not know about him. Oh, we like bulbs. We get rid of you for that. And maybe we need croutons too. Gets rid of all of his shotgun ammo. I need to learn this patience. Oh gosh. Who's that guy? And who told him I was out here? You think he knows? Maybe he doesn't know. Yeah, patience will serve you well in Tarkov, for sure. Maybe he doesn't know. Another bulb! Oh gosh. What do we do? Circuit board. I don't think these guys know. Oh. Pro tip. These cases can be looted and they can have very valuable things in them. It's actually kind of nuts. Soap's pretty smart to have. Let's just do that. Soap is one of those barters that'll always be good early on too. Soap and toilet paper. But that scav party was kind of weird. They were all like traveling together. Is that a thing now? Do they do that? Hello. Oh my god, there's another one. Okay, we can be friends. And there's another one. Jeebus. Do you know? You don't know. Do you know? You don't know? Okay, he doesn't know. I'm one of them. Dude's just walking through... What? These guys are crazy. They group up now. What the heck? I didn't know. I had no idea. I was kind of hoping that this had been looted already, because then I wouldn't bother checking it. Cordura for food. Okay. We will craft Cordura. It's okay. And yes, any map that you learn, the first thing that I would recommend learning are the loot caches. The first thing. It sucks. I guess that's the new thing, right? That's the change they made to scabs. I mean, it's kind of awesome. It's really smart for them to play like that. 7 what? Who are you? Get that in there. You and I guess we're just gonna eat that. Two minutes 30 seconds. Is this where one of them is? In a minute. Yeah, there is. Okay. Is this one of the good ones? I don't even know. I think it is. Vaseline! Ugh. We don't need the sugar. I mean, we do, but not that much. Talk about taking items function over... Yeah. That's just crazy. Oh, and we get a pistol. Okay. Really pushing this raid to the end. Thought I was gonna go quicker than this. That's alright. Alright, this is gonna be it stream. I'm gonna dump all my loot onto my PMC into my stash, and then I'm finishing this stream. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks again for your understanding when it came to the canceled stream the other day. I will be back again on Sunday, and we'll go a fair bit more in depth with the reserve run. So another homie just checked in. I'm glad we got out. So I'll do a fair bit more on reserve and the like kind of going forward with reserve, because I'll have had enough time to do the research that I want. What I'll be basically doing are like quote-unquote dry runs. So if you're familiar with the term, dry runs to, you know, facilitate how I'm going to go about my future reserve map guide. So if you want to tag along for any of those, you're more than welcome to. They'll typically start out right at the beginning of stream. I'll have a very short buffer time. And then for me, I'm gonna get my character up to the dome every time and then go and explore the map. So if you want to learn the map slowly along the same at the same time, feel free. Otherwise, you know, I'll do a run, and basically I'm just going to do laps of my spot. So I'll probably do a lap, but it'll be more in depth, and then I'll likely do another, you know, one of these raids or something like that. All right. Have an awesome night. Thanks again for hanging out. It's nice chatting. It's always good to have all you folks in here. It's good to see you again, Carlos, Taylor, Gucci. Appreciate you, man. Gat Cat, and anyone else that is watching. I am happy to have you come by the channel. It's been nice streaming here on YouTube, and I will keep doing it. I know sugar's expensive. Must loot more. All right, you guys. We'll see y'all later. Take care.